Good morning, friends. Welcome to week 4 of your online learning with reading. Today, we've been talking about all the community helpers and about our community and places we can go in our community. Today, we're going to talk about one specific community helper. We're going to talk about several, but one specific community helper we're going to talk about today and read about is a police officer. Now, a lot of times I hear, and some of you even said, I want to be a police officer when I grow up. I've heard that a lot when we've been talking about jobs. And a lot of people think, I hear a lot, police officers, they catch bad guys. Now, that might be true. Like sometimes police officers might help us stay safe from people that are making bad choices, but police officers actually do a lot more. So I want you to think about what you already know about police officers. And today while I'm reading, I want you to see if you can learn something new about police officers that you didn't already know. And while we're reading today, we're going to be reading to see if we can identify the main idea and the key details in our text. Do you guys remember that? Because this text is going to give us information, okay? So, remember this picture? Kind of remember it from class? So we have the main idea. That's what the whole, it's like this is my big table or my big stool. That's what the whole story is all about. And down here, these little legs, these are important details. Now, is everything in the story really important? No. We're going to read and find key details, new information that we can learn about a police officer. Okay, so if you only think police officers catch bad guys, let's read today and find out if they do some other things, because you guys might remember I'm married to a police officer and I know he does way more. Really, he doesn't do that very often. And so he actually does a lot of other things. So let's read and see if we can find out about some of the things that maybe he does in his day. Okay? Okay, friends, today we are reading a book called Let's Meet a Police Officer, and this book you can find over on Epic. So if you want to read it again or you want to read it on your own, I will put it in your mailbox. Actually, I think I can do that right now. Oh, I'll have to do it later, but yes, I will add this to your mailbox so that you can read it later, okay? All right, Let's Meet a Police Officer by Gina Bellisario and illustrated by Cale Atkinson. All right. Oh, and I see a heading up here, remember, in stories that give us information. Now, this is a nonfiction text, but even though it's nonfiction, you might notice that it has illustrations kind of like cartoons. So it's a little different because most of our nonfiction texts have photographs. But in this book, instead of using photographs, they're using drawings. That's still going to give us information about police officers. Do you guys remember seeing a police officer like this that talked to your class? Do you remember we went to Safety Village and the police officer taught us all about stranger danger and how to cross the street? Today our class is having a visitor. We're going to find out what a police officer does. We invited Officer Gabby. She works at our school. And it says Chapter 1, Officer Gabby's assignment. I keep our neighborhood safe, says Officer Gabby. And our school, says Madeline. Officer Gabby is a school resource officer. That's her assignment. Making students safe is her job. She stops cars at the crosswalk. Have you ever seen a police officer helping you cross the street? Maybe if you go downtown, or sometimes we have a police officer out in front of our school to help the kids cross in the morning, keep them safe. And she warns us about strangers. Oh, you guys know about that, right? Her sign says, never take rides from strangers. Every police officer has an assignment. Different assignments have different jobs. Traffic officers give tickets. Field training officers teach new officers. School resource officers help students. Did you get your assignment from police school? Asked Phoebe. From our police department, says Officer Gabby. First, I was a patrol officer. That's what Officer Johnson does. He's a patrol officer. It was part of my training. I worked hard, then I got a new assignment. Officers start training in school. Their school is a police academy. They go to school after they finish high school and they study the law there. They practice directing traffic and other skills. The academy helps them get ready for their assignments. We're happy she did. Chapter 2, Officer Ken and a Canine. Most officers wear a police uniform. Special clothes and tools are part of this uniform. 1051 at 1422 Pine Street, Officer Gabby's uniform is talking. Do you see it? Where the talking's coming out of her walkie-talkie that's attached to her uniform. What's that noise? Asked Beckett. My police radio, she says. Officer Ken is on patrol, and the radio is how he shares information. Officers talk over a police radio, and they use numbers. Some numbers are paired with 10. The pairs are instructions. 1051 is tow truck needed. 104 is I hear you. And using numbers is a fast way of talking. So it's kind of like they have their special police code to help them get information. Officer Ken works in the neighborhood. He drives a police car. Some patrol officers use helicopters or boats. Others ride bicycles or motorcycles. Still, others work on horseback. Have you ever seen a police officer on horseback? Maybe in another city. Some cities they have a lot of police officers on horseback. Police cars have technology tools. A radio sends messages. A camera records what officers see. There's even room for a computer. Officers look up cars' license plate numbers. They also type reports. Patrol officers get information on the go. They use technology to help them do their jobs. Officer Ken has a canine partner. Canine partners are also called police dogs. Officer Ken's canine partner is named Badge. Sniffing out things is a canine partner's job. Badge finds people and hidden objects, and he wears a uniform too. See his uniform there? A special kind of dog. Canine partners use a special tool. That tool is their nose. A dog's sense of smell is 1,000 times stronger than a human's. Police dogs can follow a trail for miles. They can pick up a scent underground, and they can even smell things underwater. Wow, I didn't know dogs could smell that well. Even smell underwater? Chapter 3, Team Safety. Do officers have people partners? Asked Ben. Many do, says Officer Gabby. We also work with officers in other towns, cities, and states and countries. By teaming up, we can keep you safer. Police officers are part of a community. A community is a group of people who live in the same city, town, or neighborhood. Go Team Safety, says Ben. Oops. Not all police officers work in a neighborhood. State police patrol highways, and they keep roads safe across the state. FBI agents protect the country. They gather information to fight crime, and they help catch people who break the law. FBI headquarters are in Washington, D.C. Ooh, remember we learned about Washington, D.C.? But FBI agents work around the world. The agents collect fingerprints, they watch areas for crime, and they also use science to solve cases. Even we help Team Safety. We buckle our seatbelts, we stand up against bullying. When there's an emergency, we dial 911. Officer Gabby makes our neighborhood safe, so we give our neighborhood helper a hand too. And oh, there's a glossary. You guys remember glossary and nonfiction? Okay, so I told you we were going to be reading to learn more about police officers and thinking about the main idea and the key details of the story. So what do you think the main idea, what was the whole story all about? I want you to share with somebody in your house. What do you think this whole story was all about? I kind of thought about it, and I thought there was a lot of information in this book, a lot of information about how different police officers, where they work and how they work together. But in the whole story was all about how police officers help keep our neighborhood safe. Police officers help keep our neighborhood safe. And then I was starting to think about some key details. What are some things I learned about police officers? And one thing I learned was that they learn how to be a police officer at the police academy, and they use codes to talk. What else did you learn about police officers that was new to you in this text? So over on Seesaw today, you are going to tell me one key detail, one important piece of information you learned from this story. And that's it. You can record it if you want. You can type it. You could write it on a piece of paper and take a picture of it. You could record a video of yourself telling me a key detail. However you want to share, why don't you share one key detail, and I'll take all those and I'll put them on this paper so we can look at them next time. Okay? All right.